Hi everyone, I'm Ross, this is Dylan, and this is Jack, and
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about D&D, what it is, and how the game sort of works. So, Dylan, start us off. What is D&D?
So, D&D is a role-playing game. What that means is if you think of all the movies that you love, like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, onward for my Disney fans out there, think of all those sort of movies and those characters that are in them. D&D gives you an opportunity to play a game where you have a rule set around those characters, all those different classes and races and all that sort of stuff. And you play through a story or an adventure that is created or run by the Dungeon Master.
So in terms of a role-playing game, what do we actually mean by that? So can I kind of just play this and do anything I want, or is it guided by the DM and what he tells me to do?
Yeah.
How does it work?
So the DM has a framework, he has a story, he has encounters, but how it works, everything is based on the roll of a dice and what the features of your class are. So, like if I'm a wizard, I can cast a spell, and yeah, it just depends on the dice and what happens and how well that works, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got an underlining story that the DM is going to guide us through, more or less.
Yeah.
And outside of that, we can kind of just do whatever comes to mind, as much as your imagination allows.
Absolutely right, and it's up to the DM's discretion to how that works or how that affects the game and the story and your character.
Yeah.
But pretty much most things are on the table.
Great. So, Jack, I heard this term from you the first time and I loved it. Explain to us what it means about murder hobos. What's the go to this?
So, with Dungeons & Dragons, like Dylan was saying, it's a role-playing game, so think of your favourite sort of fantasy setting, and you're almost like a character playing through the story that might be reflective of the plot of one of those movies. And a murder hobo is, you've got your party, so for example, we think about Lord of the Rings, you've got Aragorn who, you know, he wants to save the day and he wants to be the king at the end of it, and you've got Legolas, who just wants to kill more baddies than Gimli, and then you've got Gimli, obviously competing with Legolas. Now imagine Lord of the Rings, except Frodo and Sam, instead of wanting to take the ring to Mordor, all they want to do is every time they encounter someone, they're like, I would like to stab said character. And that becomes their motivation. So rather than trying to follow a story, they're like, who can I kill?
Right.
Yeah, so I guess on that, like, you can do whatever you want, as we said, but you're in a party and you're trying to achieve goals at the same time. So as much as, like, you can do what you want, if you derail the story too much, like, your party members might have something to say about that and interact with you as well. So.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like any sport. So as long as it's a team game, yes, you might have a star player on the team, but ultimately you would like to work together, which makes it more fun for everyone.
Awesome. So we'll talk about characters and personality traits and alignments in terms of whether your character is good or evil later. But basically, I guess it aligns with those policies. So if your character in your mind is generally a good person, it doesn't make sense to just go around killing anyone. And also the DM, apart from you wrecking the game, is probably going to give you payback anyway. The DM is God in this game. So if you go around killing anyone that you see, the DM is probably going to do something back and you'll probably end up dying as a result of it.
Which could be realistic, like a giant dragon coming and attacking you, like sure, that's a thing that could happen in the game. Or maybe a giant boulder just falls on your character and it's a real shame.
The fate is against you.
That's a bit rough, but
Yeah.
sure.
So I guess basically the murder hobo concept is that don't do it. Don't just kill everyone you see unless there's some genuine story behind it. It's not GTA. Don't just go around stealing everything, killing everyone you see. There's a storyline to it. Treat it like you would a real world based on your character's personality.
Yeah. You wouldn't just go to the shops and stab everyone in the store, so don't
Hopefully.
do it.
You're not the people we want watching this video.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that basically is D&D in a nutshell. The DM, the Dungeon Master, will guide you through some sort of story. Outside of that, we'll talk about characters later. You can think about how you would respond if you were that person. You come up with an idea, you say, I want to do this. Your DM will then guide you through what to do, how you roll, what abilities you'll check against, and that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's more or less the game. So it's imagination, creativity, role-based style.